So if you're a coach or a course creator and you are looking to launch and scale either an online course, high ticket or low ticket, or a coaching program, then today's episode is perfectly for you. Now, this one I'm really excited about. Today, we're going to show you the 30-day 10K launch from zero formula from the one and only Leah Rae Getz. So let's jump in and see how within 1 month from now, you can be earning $10,000 a month or more. Let's do this.
Hey, it's Leah Rae from digitaltrailblazer.com, where we help coaches, experts, and entrepreneurs to create, launch, sell, and scale digital courses and coaching programs. Now, today I've got a really fun conversation, so get your pen and paper handy because we're going to dive into our 30-day 10K launch from zero formula. So that means if you have no online presence, you've got no social media, no list, nothing, you don't have anything going already for a course, you don't have it created, you're starting from zero, you could actually get to $10,000 in the next 30 days. Now, obviously, this is an aggressive program. This is aggressive, a version of what we teach, but it's very doable. We've had several people do this. And for those of you who want to run hard now, or you maybe see yourself in the future doing this, pay attention because you got to be focused. You have to have the time and the energy and the drive to get this done. But imagine 30 days from now, you could be $10,000 richer. And on top of that, you could have impacted so many more lives with the value that you can share. So there's going to be 12 different steps. So pen and paper handy. Let's dive in. So step number 1 is to get the foundations down. All right. The foundations being decide the result you're going to help people to get and specifically who you are helping. You got to get really, really crystal clear on this so that your marketing messaging, your course or program you're putting together, it all truly helps and serves people and people are actually going to buy it. Now, if you have an idea of helping or serving online business owners, great, but let's get more specific than that because the reality is that there's Amazon FBA businesses, there's affiliate marketing businesses, YouTubers, there's all kinds of people online who have very different needs as business owners. So if you try to lump them all together, your marketing message is going to be a bit more watered down and less effective. If I'm an Amazon seller and I see an ad that says, how to sell 5 additional units a day organically from YouTube. Oh, well, that is something that I want that. That's something I can start making more sales for free. I'm going to check that out because I heard them speak specifically to me and my needs for my business. Now that's much more powerful than trying to water down your message so you can speak to everybody in the online business world. Really, don't be afraid to niche down and get super specific. Now, when it comes to the result, this is honestly key to get anybody to make a purchase because the reality is there's information everywhere, right? We're in the information age. If you looked up, how to lose weight, you're going to get millions of articles and videos and all kinds of things to help you do that. So why would someone hire a coach or buy a digital course to help them lose weight? Well, they're not looking for the information. They're looking for the result. So if you had a course that's specifically sold to postpartum moms to help them lose the baby weight, well, that's your who and that's your result, right? As a postpartum mom seeing an ad or a webinar, getting in front of that message, wow, I could lose my baby weight in 2 months or whatever they're saying. Right? That's the result that I'm willing to pay for. Have someone walking me through exactly what to do to get to the result that I want. So what is the result you're going to help them achieve and who exactly are you going to help to do that? Now, step number 2 is to start building your audience. Do not wait on this. As soon as you know who you're going to help and how you're going to help them, you need to build an audience. People oftentimes wait too long to do this because it's putting themselves out there. It's starting to attract attention and it might make them uncomfortable. But guess what? If you want to make big money and you want to have big impact, you have to get uncomfortable, right? Get out of that comfort zone. So as soon as you know who and what, who you're going to help and how you're going to help them do that, and what result they're going to get, you need to attract that specific clientele, people who are interested in that sort of thing, who fit your potential customer. You got to start attracting them to you. Now, what method do you want to use to grow your audience? Honestly, there's a million under the sun, but creating a community is an amazing asset for your business long term and works really, really well for selling courses and coaching programs. So I highly suggest at this stage, you start up your Facebook group, and this is going to be your, let's call it a nurture group, where you're going to nurture people. They can join for free, and you're going to build up that know, like, and trust factor with that group. Now, in that group, you're going to give tons of value. You're going to give tips. You're going to give live trainings. You're going to do all kinds of fun stuff in that group to keep it active and also help your audience, the people you're bringing into the group, to see you as an authority in the space. If you're the one in there doing the lives and giving them some information that they didn't previously have, that authority level just stuck up a notch, right? And when you eventually have an offer to put in front of them, they will have their credit card in hand ready to purchase. So how do you build that group? Well, you can do it organically. You can invite people and engage across Facebook and different groups and different places where your potential audience may hang out and offer them value and welcome them to the group. That's too slow for a true 30-day from scratch process though. So, and even if you're not trying to do this in 30 days, I would still suggest speeding this up a little bit because you want bigger results. You want to go a little bit faster, then leverage paid ads. They are powerful. You could, let's say, create a free PDF download that fits for your target audience and is kind of related to the result you're going to help them get in your program. Some tip sheet, some guide, hack, whatever that they're going to find value in. So create a PDF for that, and then you can run a Facebook ad giving away that free PDF. Now, when people go to download that free PDF, they have to give you their name and email on a capture page. Now, this is great because now you're building an email list, and then on the thank you page, after they've put in their information, not only are you going to give them the download, you're also going to invite them to join your group. So now you're building your email list and you're building your Facebook group at the same time. So the more you can hit people from different angles, both from your email list and from Facebook, you're going to speed up that process of warming up that lead. And you're going to shorten the time frame it's going to take to move them towards making a purchase. Now, you continue step number 2 the entire way. So just keep going with step number 2 really forever. As long as you want to be selling your course or your coaching program, keep going with number 2. Keep growing that group. Keep engaging and giving value because you're going to have the hottest leads come from that group. Step number 3 is to sit down and outline your course. So essentially, you're just going to lay out the modules, okay? Start with the end in mind, right? What is the result that they're going to get? And then back up and break that down into the different modules that you're going to need to cover and what is going to be in those modules. And you don't have to actually start shooting videos. You can just create an outline, 4, 5, 6 modules long, write down all of the things you're going to cover in each of the modules. And you don't have to start shooting it right away. And honestly, we're not going to shoot it till after we sell it. And that is how we speed this process up so much and can get you to $10,000 within 30 days. Now, how long should your course be? Really, just as long as it needs to be. Only as long as it needs to be to get them to the result that they're wanting. Now, my husband, Todd, who I work with, he'll say, if he could have created our program that we sell in 3 modules, he would have still sold it for the same amount of money if it got the same results because people could go through it faster. But it's a little more complicated and it can't do it in 3 modules, so it's a bit longer. So how long should your course be? Well, just typically know that courses are usually between 4 and 9 modules, but you may have an outlier to that, but it needs to make sense, right? If you're doing some pretty basic stuff, you shouldn't have 15 modules, okay? But remember, at this point, you're only outlining. You don't have to start shooting or anything else. You really just need to know what you're going to cover in your course so that you can effectively sell it. Now, step number 4 is setting up logistics. So not super exciting, but the things that you need to do before you're actually ready to launch. So you need to set up your payment processing and your order page. You need to set up the hosting site, and or a Facebook group to use for your beta launch, which I highly suggest that you do. And we'll get into that in a moment. You need to create the follow-up series for people who register for your beta webinar, but they don't attend. And then there's another one if they attend, but they don't watch the whole thing and they don't see the pitch. And then there's another series if they see the pitch, but they don't purchase, right? So you have to set up those emails to kind of fill the hole in the leaky bucket. Those leads that you have, you want to really give them a chance to get in front of that offer and make that purchase. Now, the final part of setting up the logistics is actually setting up your sales process. So are you going to do a couple-day workshop or a 3-day workshop with a little webinar at the end? Are you just going to push them right into a webinar? What does that look like? And then you have to actually prepare the webinar, all the slides and the things that you're going to go over to take them along that emotional journey to get them to purchase your program at the end. Now remember, all the while, you're still growing that audience. Now, step number 5, this is the exciting part, and this is potentially within 3 weeks or 4 weeks, but this is where you start making money, and it all depends on how fast you've been able to go through everything else and build up the audience and warm them up enough. Now, step number 5 is launch. Launch that baby. Now, this is really going to be your, what we call a beta launch. And it's the first group of people that you're going to sell your program to. Now, again, you can sell them in a one-time webinar, or you could sell them in a workshop for a couple days and the final day being a webinar. But you're going to offer your program at a fairly discounted rate. So say your long-term goal is to have your program at $997. Well, a fair price for the beta version of that, the first time people are going through it, would be $497. Essentially, you're giving them a discount to be a little more forgiving with you in the process, knowing that this is the first time the program is out and there may be some kinks along the road, but they're going to help you work through those and help make a better program in the end. The beta launch is really about testing your sales process and testing your program itself. You're going to test how well everything converts along the way in your sales process, and you're also going to be testing how good is your training, right? How good does all of it help people get amazing results? So your beta program is really critical to the long-term success of your offer. Now, let's look at some numbers. If you are offering your beta program at $497, guess what? In order to make $10,000 in that 30-day period, you only need to make 20 sales. That's it. 20 sales. And if your webinar converts at 10% of registrants, meaning that 10% of all the webinar registrants actually make a purchase, then you only need 200 registrants to your webinar. And if you've effectively been doing what we told you in step number 2, which is building and engaging with that audience, you're going to get that. And then poof, you've just launched from scratch in 30 days, making $10,000 or more. Now, I did say 12 steps. So what are all the other steps? Well, they're how you grow past that, because now you actually have to deliver the program. And remember, you haven't even recorded anything yet. So your number 6 is actually delivering your program, whether that's coaching, whether that's a digital course. But you're going to deliver that live over several weeks. And typically people usually do 1 module per week. So if it's a 6-module course, over 6 weeks is pretty normal. Now, you really have 2 ways of delivering the training that are acceptable in beta launches. People will either just train live on Zoom, where they've got all of their notes in front of them and they just go through everything live on Zoom. Or you can record the videos for the module each week. And so you'd have an entire 7 days to record your modules, get them edited, and release them on a specific day every single week. And so you can just kind of piecemeal creating the program over the 6 weeks that you're working with them. Now, in addition to delivering the different modules over those weeks, you also need to really engage with your beta launch people. So you really should be using live Q&A sessions, like on a weekly basis at least, within your beta launch, because that's how you get the feedback from your people that, you know, maybe something wasn't quite as clear as it needs to be. There's some questions here, or people struggling with this, so that you can make your program even better. Now, it's really important that you do have a Facebook group just for your paid customers. because that is how you keep them engaged and you allow them to ask questions and keep moving through the program, keep them motivated. On top of that, that is how they can easily give you testimonies. And that is what allows you to do all the other steps we're going to talk about, right? You need amazing testimonies from this beta launch. And so pour into your students, go above and beyond, because the more amazing testimonies you create during that beta launch, that's going to allow you to sell to cold traffic, to skip having to really warm people up, right? Where you're going to be able to drive cold traffic to your offer and convert it because of all of the amazing testimonies you can put into that sales process. Now, as you're working with your students and you see them starting to get results, step number 7 is collecting testimonies. And reward them, even if it's just socially and just calling them out and congratulating them in the group or even publicly on your personal profile for their successes. But get people to share with you their wins within the Facebook group, both in video format and in text format, because that's critical to step number 8. Step number 8 is simply to refine your webinar and your follow-up emails, your sales process, to include these amazing testimonies that your beta group is producing. Okay, so step number 8 is to start incorporating the testimonies into the sales process. Now, step number 9 is to refine your training based on the feedback of your beta members. Now, this will be pretty clear to you as you're working with them hands-on, but there's going to be parts of your course that you're going to maybe need to add another little video or do some further explanation, or maybe add a download or a tip sheet or a worksheet for them to help them be crystal clear and to help people get better and better results. So step number 9 is improving your program to make it even better. Now, if you delivered your training live during the beta launch via Zoom and you didn't have it pre-recorded, this is where you'll definitely want to sit down and pre-record a more polished version of it. Now, step number 10, start making some money again, okay? This is where you start running live webinars that you fill up with paid traffic. And this isn't the end goal. Okay, we don't want to have to keep doing live webinars, but this is part of the testing process before we can automate. Now, it's important to note that live webinars are going to convert better than automated webinars. So we want to test this with live webinars to make sure we're converting well enough that we can take a little hit on that and automate the process. So what does this look like? Simply running Facebook ads to register for your upcoming webinar on Thursday night or whatever. In that webinar, you are going to be introducing them to you, because remember, they came from an ad and you are totally brand new to them. So you're going to start your webinar off introducing yourself. And then throughout the webinar, you're going to give them some value, teach them some things, take them through that psychological journey of an amazing webinar and incorporate all of those amazing testimonies that you've just collected to help close the sale. So the question is, how do you know when to automate your program? Well, you essentially need to run enough traffic through your live once a week or twice a week or whatever webinars to be able to kind of read the analytics, read the conversion rates of what you're doing so that you can say, if I put in $1 of ad spend, I've got it all converting well enough that I get $4 out. Now remember, once you start doing these live webinars, you're not actually selling at $4.97. You might be doing incrementally up to $9.97, or if you just crushed it in the beta launch, you could probably go right to your $9.97 price point. So you're just evaluating your conversion rates and the cost per lead and everything to make sure that this is going to work really well for you. And if it doesn't the first time you do a live webinar, that's totally cool. You continue to adjust and refine the process. You might do 2 or 3 live webinars before you get really happy with the results. I'll be honest, when Todd and I first started selling on webinars, we, I think, did it for 2 months. It was the first time we'd ever done anything like that, and we were really bad at it, and we really didn't have a lot of guidance. So if you get guidance and you have a coach or someone helping you with this, you can go a lot faster. But you want to make sure you really have that webinar down and it's converting really well, and you can effectively drive cold traffic through it and make sales. Then you get to the fun part, and this is step number 12, and that's automating it, setting up your automated sales process. This is where you are driving traffic from Facebook, YouTube, Google, wherever, and they're getting into your sales webinar that's pre-recorded. So you might be over at the beach sipping a margarita, and your webinar is doing the selling for you. And then you have all of the follow-up email series going and everything really streamlined so that you can convert cold traffic using automated webinars. And once you've driven traffic enough through that, so you can see, if I put in $1, I'm getting $2.50 out. Beautiful. Start scaling. You start low, but as you see your numbers look good, you start inching up the amount that you're spending in ad spend. And before you know it, who knows? You could be up at $8,000 or $10,000 a day in ads. But guess what? If you're putting in $1 and getting $2.50 out, I'll give you all the money I have, right? In Facebook ads to scale massively and get to those really, really big numbers. But this formula that I just walked you through, this can take you from $0 to $10,000 in 30 days. But I'll be honest, this is what took my husband and I several years ago when we started in digital courses, took us from 0 to $100,000 a month in, I think it was 7 months time. 0 to $100,000 a month. So it is a very powerful process, a very powerful formula that you really can leverage effectively for your business. Now, we do have a nice little giveaway for you. It is our automated course sales toolkit. Now, this is a combination of a PDF and a video to help you understand sort of that automated system, all of the tech and the pieces of the puzzle that you need to put together to create a massively streamlined, successful sales machine. Now, if this sounds amazing and you want to do this in your business, we do have a free Facebook group as well where we are doing live trainings at least a couple of times a week to help you through this process. It's called our Profitable Course Creators Group, and we'll see if we can provide a link somewhere for you here as well. Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to hearing your amazing success stories. Take care.
You've been listening to the Impactful Entrepreneurs Show with Adrienne Hill, where we support coaches, course creators, and network and affiliate marketers to translate their big picture vision into actionable plans to build out their business efficiently. If you love our show, we invite you to visit buildalifebydesign.com to join the conversation, access the show notes, and discover more helpful resources. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, review, and share. Thank you for listening.